Alright, let's talk about golf, but not the kind of golf you see on TV. This isn't about swing mechanics or the latest driver technology. This is about mindset, psychology, and why playing with better golfers might be the most underrated hack for improving your game. And honestly, it's about way more than golf. Stick with me here. So, there's this guy Graham, right? Turns 50, decides he's going to fix his golf game instead of buying a convertible. Classic midlife crisis, but with fairways instead of Ferraris. He starts at a 13 handicap, now down to 9.6. But here's the twist, his breakthrough didn't come from hours on the driving range. It came from playing with people who straight up outplayed him. And that's where things get interesting. Let me tell you what stands out here. Most amateurs, myself included, play with the same group of hackers week after week. We're all stuck in this bubble where slicing into the woods is normal. But Graham did something radical, he actively sought out players who were better. Not just a little better. Way better. And what he learned from them wasn't technical. It was mental. Let's unpack this. First, bad shots happen. Even to pros. Wait, scratch that, especially to pros. I mean, Graham watched a plus handicap player shank a 7-iron. But here's the kicker, the good golfers don't let one bad shot derail their entire round. When I chunk a wedge, I immediately think, yep, today's a disaster. But the better players just shrug and move on. Why? Because they see the miss as an outlier, not a life sentence. And honestly, this is something we all struggle with. In golf, in work, in life, we overreact to short-term failures. These golfers taught me that resilience is about perspective. One bad hole doesn't define your round. One bad day doesn't define your career. That's a huge mindset shift. But here's the thing that really blew my mind, the obsession with scoring. Graham played with a former assistant pro who, when both were short of the green, didn't just aim to save par. He said, I have one thought, hole this chip. Now, he didn't make it, but the mentality was aggressive. Always. Even when down, they play offense. And that's the difference. Amateurs play not to lose, pros play to win. You ever start a round strong and immediately play it safe? I know I do. But these players never stop hunting birdies. They're not trying to survive the course, they're trying to conquer it. And that's not just about confidence. It's about framing. How you frame a situation determines how you act. If you walk into a meeting thinking, just don't mess up, you're already losing. But if you're thinking, how do I crush this? That's a different energy entirely. Now, the golden takeaway? Talking to yourself. No, seriously. Graham noticed that every better golfer had a pre-shot routine that involved specific self-talk. Like, I'm starting this on the right side of the fairway, then drawing it back. Not vague hopes. Not don't hit it in the water. Actual plans. And when he tried it? His game improved. Why? Because visualization works. Because committing to a positive outcome, instead of fearing a negative one, changes how you act. Think about that. Most of us operate on avoidance. Don't screw up. But pros? They're proactive. They're creating outcomes, not reacting to fears. And this isn't just golf, it's a life skill. How much better would your work, relationships, or goals improve if you focused on what you want, not what you dread? So what's the bigger picture here? Golf's a microcosm. The lessons Graham learned, resilience, offensive mindset, proactive visualization, are universal. But here's the question, why don't more people do this? Why do we cling to our comfort zones, playing with folks at our level, reinforcing bad habits? Maybe because growth is uncomfortable. Or maybe we're scared to face how much better we could be. Either way, the takeaway is clear. If you want to improve, stop avoiding better players, or better competitors, colleagues, whatever your game is. Surround yourself with people who expose your weaknesses, then steal their secrets. Because the gap between you and them? It's not as big as you think. It's just a mindset away. What do you think? Are you playing offense or defense in your own life? Let me know in the comments, and if you found this interesting, hit subscribe. We'll dive deeper into the psychology of performance next week. See you on the course.